Hi, I'm Erin with CandleScience, and in today's video, I'm going to show you how to make a cloud-themed candle. It's simple, fun, and turns out really cute. I'll walk you through the materials, the pouring process, and a few tips to get that cloud-like look. Let's get started. Here's a basic list of what you'll need. Wax. Today I'll be using coconut apricot wax in the microwavable 1-pound bag. Fragrance. Today I'll be using Baltic Dew, but you can use whichever fragrance you'd like. Jar. I'll be using the Studio Tumbler jar. Wick. For this wax and jar combination, I'll be using one LX18 wick. Wick stickers. These are used to adhere the wick to the jar. Wick bar. This holds the wick in place as the candle cools. Candle dye. Today I'll be using the blue liquid candle dye. Here are some additional tools that I'll be using. Rubbing alcohol, paper towels, craft stick, or you can also use a coffee stirrer or paintbrush, a stirring utensil, a thermometer, scissors or something to cut your wick with, scale, a container, and a microwave. Let's start by cleaning off our space. First, I'm going to prep my jar. I'll clean it out with some rubbing alcohol and adhere my wick to the bottom of the jar using a wick sticker. I'm going to place the closed bag of wax in the microwave and heat on high for 30-second intervals. For even melting, you can remove the bag periodically and gently shake it side to side to mix the wax. Return the bag to the microwave, heat for another 30 seconds, and repeat this process until the wax is completely melted and clear. Time for the clouds. The size and number of clouds for this project is up to your preference. I set aside 1 ounce of the melted wax for the clouds. Add what you think would be the best amount for your desired look, and make sure to set aside enough so the wax does not cool immediately. I'll allow it to cool until it reaches a thick consistency. In my testing, I found that it's generally around 120 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm using the craft stick to apply the clouds. I layer brush strokes to the inside of the jar. This can involve a little trial and error to achieve the cloud look you're going for. Remember that cloud shapes vary. They can be puffy, wispy, or heap-like, so don't worry about each one being perfect. After the clouds have cooled, I will remelt the remaining coconut apricot wax in the microwave. Then, once the wax is fully melted, I will add 6 drops of blue liquid candle dye to the wax and give it a good stir. You can add less dye depending on how vibrant you want the sky to be. Once the dye is fully mixed in, check the temperature with the thermometer. When it reads 185 degrees Fahrenheit, it's time to add the fragrance oil. I poured in the entire 1 ounce bottle, which is approximately a 7% fragrance load. Then I gave it a good stir. Allow the wax to cool a bit below the recommended pouring temperature so that you don't melt the clouds on the sides of the container. I poured the wax around 130 degrees Fahrenheit. Next, carefully pour the wax into the container, making sure not to pour it directly onto the sides where the clouds are. Lastly, secure the wick with a wick bar and allow the candle to cool completely. Once the candle has cooled completely, remove the wick bar, trim the wick to 1/4 inch, and place a warning label on the bottom of the candle. Now you will have some leftover wax. I made 2 smaller cloud candles in our mini Sonoma tumbler jars. I'd recommend letting your candles cure for a few days before lighting it, as this will give you the best scent experience. I hope you enjoyed this project. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe to see more. We'll see you next time!